And we are live on the Metal Voice today. The unboxing of Rush 50.
It's beautiful.
Look at this. It's heavy too. Oh,
Where have you been all my life?
Look at this. It's so heavy, it makes me tilt and fall over. Wow.
Yeah.
Look
Make
at
sure.
this.
Are you wearing Jimmy, are you wearing a back brace or anything?
I am.
You should wear a back brace.
Just for this.
All you do.
I was going to get a crane.
Heavy lifting.
It's beautiful. Look how thick it is. Look at that. Look at that. So the record company sent out a PR on this, and I sent back a message saying, hey, if you're interested in any unboxing, I'd love to have the CD version of this. I love CDs. That's kind of why. And then the other day, boop, I hear a smash at my door from, of course, you know.
Wait, we might open this and find out the vinyl is broken.
The bam! I hear a bam. They threw it at my doorstep and they ran. But the delight was, I go, this is not a CD box. This is the LP, the 7 LP version of this. Let's talk about when this was released, Perrin.
This was released just a week ago Friday, March 21st. Mm-hmm. The R50 box set was released in 3 different versions. A 4 CD version, the 7 LP edition, which we're going to unbox today, and the Super Deluxe edition, which has the 7 LPs, the 4 CDs, and assorted goodies inside. We'll have some assorted goodies in the LP version, but we won't have all the assorted goodies that you get with the Super Deluxe. All right,
go ahead.
So let's tell people what this is. So I will.
Okay.
This is the official company line on what the 7 LP version is.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate 50 years of Rush with their first ever complete career anthology. 50 tracks on 7 180-gram LPs, featuring selections from every studio, live, and deluxe reissue album. Igniting the experience are the very first 2 singles, Not Fade Away and You Can't Fight It, remastered and reissued for the first time ever. The collection showcases 7 unreleased tracks, including 5 1974 live selections, with the non-album songs Bad Boy and Garden Road, a vault edition of The Trees, with an alternate guitar solo, and the very last performance with Neil Peart, in Los Angeles on August 1st, 2015, of What You're Doing, Working Man, Garden Road. The 104-page hardcover book features new USIME 50th anniversary artwork, along with stunning new song illustrations, photos, and liner notes by renowned rock journalists David Frick and Philip Wilding. All right. So that is what's in there. I'm really curious to see the book.
Guys, look at this. Me and the parent have heard all the music. We can talk about the music after I rip. Look at the plastic still on. Look, the shrink wrap. I didn't take it off yet. I will rip.
Do you have an instrument? Jimmy, do you have an instrument to take off the plastic without hurting yourself?
My teeth. No.
Okay.
No.
Teeth.
Let's just see if I could take the plastic. We are unboxing live.
This is it. Let's see. Luckily, Jimmy did not trim his nails.
Cut my nails.
Or did he trim his nails? So,
okay. I think I should have cut it just a little bit. Having problems here. Hold on.
This is, so you need to prepare when you do these shows, folks, and we clearly did not prepare.
I should have had a little tear.
You should have had a little tear in it, but he didn't, or at least have an instrument,
let's see if
a letter opener, perhaps.
This mechanism here as a tear, but it just goes to show you that this is serious business. They're not going to just send you any box set.
It's a tight shrink wrap.
Here we go. I got the tear. The tear is there.
All right, this is the best part. Everybody, watch and listen.
Here's the tear. Here it is. Look at this. Here it goes. We're ripping it off. Ripping it off for the first time.
This is like Christmas morning if you're a Rush fan.
Okay, here we are. That's it. It's off. It's off. Let me just put the garbage over there. Oh.
No time for garbage, Jimmy.
Hold on. Oh, yes. It's got that new smell. And here we go. It's got some sort of a back sleeve, that for promotional purposes where it just...
All right. Now, is that same sleeve printed on the back? Is that superfluous or is it needed?
Nope. You see that?
So
that's where they got that.
People, you need to keep that if you're a completist because it completes the package. It's not superfluous. It is not the same thing printed on the back.
Yes.
So you must keep it. Do not discard it with the plastic.
That's right. Plastic in the garbage...
Recycled. You have to put that in your blue bin.
Well, I don't really do that. But anyways, okay, here we go. Guys, here it is. It's opened.
Okay, does it open like a book or does it slide out? How do you
no, it's a slider. It's definitely a slider. Yep. Let's take a look at this. We'll talk about the music after, but first let's look inside. Okay, here we go.
I'm jealous. They
Whoa! Glossy.
Oh, that's the book.
Table.
That's
This
the
is
book.
oh yeah, this is the book.
That's
It's
the coffee
glossy.
table book.
It's a very nice coffee table book feel. You can definitely, impress your friends when they come over. You put it in the middle of the table.
But don't put your coffee
look what I
on it
got.
because then you'll get little round things and you don't want to do that.
Wow, great! I would say superb quality. Definitely for completist. Let's take a look inside. Oh, it's got that fresh new smell.
It crackles almost when you open it, right?
Did you hear the crackle? You heard
I
it,
heard
huh?
the crackle through the mic. You have a very
Wow,
good
look
mic.
at this. They call me the working man. Look at that. That's Toronto, by the way.
Yeah. So I assume all the
wow.
illustrations
Look
by
at this.
Usign, longtime Rush artist Usign.
Beautiful. Look at that. And there's words, if you can read. Old
Read.
pictures. Let me
can
just
read.
get the microphone out of the way there. Okay.
Reading is great.
Wow, look at that.
Rush, we're highly into reading. So it's great that they make us
Beautiful.
read even after retirement.
Look at that.
Great pictures.
A must. Wow, beautiful.
So see right here off the bat, everyone, obviously the 7 LP set costs more than the 4 CDs. But, if you get the 4 CDs and you're looking at this thing in a little booklet, I don't know if a little CD booklet does it justice. There is something about having a book that you can kind of take out and have on your table. And I would have a hard time imagining this could be properly reproduced in the CD set.
Yeah. So look, you have the 4 CDs, you have the 7 LPs and the book, which is what I have, and then you have the deluxe, right, which includes
Super deluxe, yeah.
Super deluxe,
everything.
the LPs, the CDs, the books, and some other goodies.
Yeah, and there's an extra book, and there's lithographs actually also in the Super Deluxe.
So look at that! Wow, look the trees, beautiful, isn't it? There's unrest in the forest.
Yeah. Well, Rush always had obviously very provocative and excellent artwork.
Do you think this is power windows here? What do you think?
I think so.
Oh, that's from Signals. No, not from Signals. From Test for Echo. Look at this. Alchemists.
See, I'm sure if you actually read the words, it tells you all about the pretty pictures.
Oh, here we go. This is the fence. Tom Sawyer, I think. This is Aureus Borealis.
Now be careful that you don't...
Oh, look at that. There's the fire hydrant from the dog. Beautiful.
Don't rip the pages, Jimmy. Turn everything very carefully.
Look at that. Wow, look at that.
So for those commenting, does the addition of like a book like this make you want to have it? Do you, if you already have the music, or if you can have the music on CD or on LP, do you want the LP box set just so you can have this book?
Beautiful. What illustrations. Nice. Oh, too much crackle there, Perrin.
Yeah, like I said,
there you go.
You don't want to rip those
There you have it.
pages.
That is the coffee table book.
And the cover, Jimmy, if you can give a little knock with your fist, is it like a hardcover?
Oh,
that's a hardcover book.
Glossy hardcover. This is definitely a coffee
Yeah,
table book.
folks, you want to definitely make sure whenever you're ordering this, you get the free shipping. Otherwise, the heaviness of the vinyl and the book are gonna cost you a pretty penny.
And you know what? Do the old test, the Perrin-Wolfson test, just to make sure if it's the right. If it would have kind of went, that would have been like a comic book, right? But it's not, or a notebook. But no,
This is the real deal.
You can like bounce it on your head if you wanted to.
Well done, Rush. Well done.
Well done. Okay, let's.
So now we get the book out of the way. But what? So there's 7 records in there, right?
7
Now, are the
records.
records just in thin little sleeves, or are they actually in like the old school album covers?
We're gonna figure that out because this is the first time I've seen it. This is LP1, beautiful 50.
And give that a little knock. Is that a regular album cover?
Not fade away. There you go. So this is LP1, and it goes chronologically, right? It goes from the early years to their later years. So this feels like cardboard, like very, very well constructed cardboard.
But is it like these that I have in back of me? Is it just the same old school kind of album stuff?
old schools were very flimsy, right?
So it's not paper though, right?
It's not paper. It feels like a very tough cardboard, but glossy. So it's got a nice feel.
And then on the back of it, you said it has the listing of the album, right? The old side 1, side 2 thing.
There you go. Side 1,
we don't
side
see
2.
enough of that anymore.
Bad
Remember when
boy
there was
card.
and is it side 1 or 2? Is it side A and B? What are they calling it?
They're calling it side 1 and 2. So we got no funny business with A
There
and
is
B.
no A and B.
Inside, we have the sleeve,
Okay.
right, for the tough
sleeve
guys.
inside the cardboard album cover.
Let's take out the album, shall we? Oh, wow. You know, the difference between albums of today versus of yesterday, the sort of the bendability, the flexibility, they're very, you could see that they're made thicker today.
Yeah. You used to be able to go and it would like,
No, you can't do that anymore. Now it's like you can knock somebody over the head with this. So there you have it. There's what the album looks like. Beautiful.
Because the worst thing back in the day was when if you would drop a record or a single, or your sibling would get mad at you and throw it,
yeah,
they would break.
Yeah, I mean, you'd use it as a frisbee, but it wouldn't hurt anybody. This would probably, like in 007, if you use it as a frisbee, it's going to knock someone's head right off. Decapitate, is that the word? So far, I'm loving it. This is great. Beautiful. That's LP1. Let's put that back.
Now, I would think every LP has different artwork, right? So I'm guessing...
Well, here's 50. Let's see what the difference between the two are. Well, look at this one. Here, look. Hey.
Okay, so different variations of the number 50. And then is the cover theme on the back any different?
I'm not sure if I got it in order, but let's take a look. See Dooksy here. I got to see it from close. Whoop, whoop, whoop. 2112, is that? This is actually... where's 2112 on the list?
Yeah, so that should be so that's LP2, which is side 3 of the set and side 1 of LP2. So yeah, so it looks like you've got the second LP because it should start with 2112 Temples of the Syrinx.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just talk about each LP very quickly before we get into, and I'll show them as we get into. So let's go back to LP1 and let's talk about what these are. This is probably where,
Jimmy, that's the most exciting one to me. So if I give you the track listing of that, so LP1 on the first side has Not Fade Away, You Can't Fight It.
So wait, pause. And these are not, they've actually taken the original analog tape and remastered. If you go online and you stream it, you'll hear that hiss from that single. Usually from singles back in the day had a lot of hiss. There is no hiss. These are analog transfers to digital, and it sounds like it was recorded, I wouldn't say today, but it was recorded not too long ago.
Yeah, like old but new. I mean, honestly, I think Not Fade Away and You Can't Fight It, which was their original singles on Moon Records. So I think it's a great way to start off this kind of a set. So that's really, really exciting. And then the rest of that side.
Here, hold on. Here's a tidbit. John Rutsey, his only writing credit on You Can't Fight It, he did write the lyrics for the first album. He wasn't very confident about them, so he threw them all out. So Geddy and Alex had to help writing.
At the last minute.
Yeah. You Can't Fight It was actually the B side to the A side of Not Fade Away by Buddy Holly.
Yeah, just so people know that. It is indeed the Buddy Holly cover. And then the rest of that side has a slightly different version of Working Man. And then we've all seen the footage, right? We've all seen their high school footage at Laura Secord High School. So this is actually the audio recordings of them doing Need Some Love and Before and After live from that Laura Secord.
From the school.
Yeah, from the school.
Not from the little chocolate shop that we're used to.
No. Laura Secord was a person. Schools were named after her, but chocolate was also named after her.
Funny little tidbit. Lips from Anvil, he actually did see Rush play live at his high school back in the day.
That was a big thing back then. And then the second side of that has some more. So the second side is exciting because it has 3 of the tracks that have never been released before. So a song called Bad Boy live, never released before. The recorded version of Garden Road live, never released before. And a version of Anthem that's never been released before. And then also the studio tracks Fly By Night and Bastille Day. The set does go chronologically. So we've obviously started with almost early Rush, pre-Rush, call it what you want, and then segueing into their first records.
And here's the tidbit here. Neil Peart did perform on Bad Boy live at the Agora Ballroom in Cleveland, Ohio. That's when John Rutsey exited. Neil Peart comes in. He also does play on the Garden Road, which is live at the Agora. Again, going back in time, I think these songs were actually released bootleg-wise, or there was recordings but they've never been on any official live album. So this is the first time they're cleaned up. They sound great. This is definitely
like they have for those songs, they call them previously unreleased. You know, obviously collectors were able to find them in different places, but it's never been on an official release.
Now, Working Man, it's actually the exact same song, but the guitar solo is an alternate take. They probably did in the studio. There's a little more wah-wah. And Anthem, they recorded the live at the Electric Lady Studio. That's Jimi Hendrix Studio. In 1974, they recorded, I think they did a performance there where that was Fly By Night era. That's where they recorded the album Fly By Night. And they did a performance there. So that's where it's taken from. Again, it probably existed somewhere in the Rush vast bootleg world.
In the Rush universe.
Yeah, in the Rush universe. But people have heard it. I mean, it's been floating around. But there you go. Complete. If anything, if this is worth anything, this box set, it's probably the value is right here on this disc right here.
Yeah, I would say exactly that disc 1 is by far the most interesting because you're just having stuff that was either unreleased or just not released in this format and maybe a little bit rare.
Yeah. And here we go. Now we're going to disc 2 as we showed it. Very, very similar on the inner sleeve. There's nothing else there. But beautiful.
Yeah, and now, as we get into the other discs, we get into things that have been on your Rush albums that you've had before. Because the concept of this was to include something from every Rush release. And that could be a Rush studio album, that could be a Rush live album, or that could be a re-release package that they did over the years. So there is something, you know, it really is supposed to be kind of a gathering of things from throughout their career, plus some rarities and some new stuff. So we talked about the rarities and the new stuff. Now you're getting the stuff that you've heard before, but maybe not in this version.
So Fly By Night, Bastille Day, we know it from the albums, right? The remasters, it's very clean, very good, great quality, great production. Side 2 includes 2112, just the Temples of Syrinx, the Overturned Sun Temple. It stops at, for those people who don't remember, it stops at, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Then Baitar and the Snow Dog, it is taken from June 11th to 13th. That's taken from All the World's a Stage. If you have that album or not, Something for Nothing, another great version off of All the World's a Stage. And I think that's it, right? Side 4, sorry. Side 4
Closer to the Heart. It has a great version of Xanadu.
Xanadu was taken off live at the Hammersmith from Stages. I posted that recently. Stages, the live album. There was a bonus disc that had live at the Odeon, at the Hammersmith Odeon, sorry. The drum solo also taken from there. And then there's side 3, The Trees. This is an alternate Trees, right? It sounds a little different. The guitar solo is a little different, and the vocals seem a little
different. The Trees, I think, is on. So now you have LP2, so then The Trees kicks off LP3, I believe.
Okay, hold on. Let's go to LP3.
Yeah, get LP3 for us. And again, is it just another number 50? I want to see what the album cover looks like.
Oh, it changes, man. It changes.
We got a new theme.
Hold on, I just want to make sure. It's hard to see.
So if that's number 3, it should be starting with The Trees and La Villa Strangiato.
Can anybody see that? I can't even see it. So the only complaint I have is it's dark. You see it? Does it say Trees?
You can't see it through the screen.
So
if that is LP3, it should be The Trees, La Villa Strangiato, and In the Mood. Now, the version of The Trees, Jimmy, that kicks off that record, that is also one of the never before released items. Because
it's not it, Perrin. That's the one right after. Big Money, nope. Hold on. I don't have it in order. Nope.
Gotta grab them in order, my friend.
They're just not in order.
You're looking for The Trees.
One Little Victory, Red Barchetta.
No, that's probably
Big Money.
You're getting up there now.
Tom Sawyer. Maybe it was on the other side of The Trees.
LP3, side 5. So the first side of the third record should have The Trees.
Well, Baitar closer. So what the heck's going on there, Brian?
Jimmy has received a defective box set.
No, don't go there.
Number 3 is missing.
One Little Victory. Red Barchetta, right?
And now you're in
Big
LP6.
Money. I'm sorry. Wait a second.
Red Barchetta is LP7.
3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. It's there. I just didn't see it. My bad. Here it is.
That's what we've been looking for. And that should kick off with the trees. And this version of the trees is the Vault Edition with a different solo that we have not heard before.
It sounded a little, the vocal sounded a little different too.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe it's only the solo. I would think it's just a different take.
So we got a little bit of a different variation on the 50. And I guess this would be, I'm trying to think of the drawing from which song that would be. A little boy in a gold, what do you think?
Yeah, well, now we're getting into, Fly By Night era and into Hemispheres as well.
So if I was going to guess, I would say Natural Science.
Because Natural Science is on that record. So that one has the trees, La Villa Strangiato, In the Mood, Spirit of the Radio, Natural Science, and A Passage to Bangkok.
Yeah. And In the Mood is from the Pink Pop Festival, and that's taken from Hemispheres 40th edition, the reissue. That's where the live track is taken from.
And that's the cool thing about those 40th anniversary packages they've done, is that they've always included some cool live stuff from the era on them.
So this is a great way to get the best of the reissues. If you didn't pick up the reissues, you can actually, they're here.
Yeah, you get a little
La Villa's from Pink Pop, and In the Mood's from Pink Pop as well. So there you go. Then, of course, you have the Spirit of Radio. It's just the standard track that everybody knows and loves. Natural Science, like you said. No, this is taken from Live at Manchester Apollo, which is from the Permanent Waves reissue, like we said, and A Passage to Bangkok, also from the Permanent Waves reissue. I do have that as well, but that's where it's taken from, the bonus discs. So there you have it. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Tom Sawyer, right? Monday Warrior.
So LP4, side 7, starts with the studio track Tom Sawyer.
There it is. Look at this. Look at this.
Limelight Live, Vital Signs Live, YYZ Live.
I wonder what this, look at this picture. What does it signify? There's like a spaceship there, right?
Well, I don't think it's Tom Sawyer. I don't think it could be Limelight. I don't know.
Red
Vital
Sector
Signs,
A, no.
YYZ.
See,
I don't know if these pictures are meant to represent a song or represent an amalgamation of things on the record, on that LP.
Red Sector A, maybe? I don't know.
New World Man? I don't know.
New World Man. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the inside is very similar to all the other albums. Very nice. So Tom Sawyer, of course, the song that we know, taken from Moving Pictures. Limelight is live from the Maple Leaf Gardens on the Moving Pictures reissue that they had a few years ago. Vital Signs is taken from, again, the same show, Moving Pictures reissue. YYZ or YYZ live at the Forum in Montreal. So there we're getting a little treat because that was only released on video, right? And DVD later on. So that's, that's the performance. I think they redid that. They re-imaged it. They remixed it and they put it out as a DVD over the years. And now we get to have YYZ or YYZ. And it's also, there's the spoken word, if you remember this, because back in the day when they played the Forum, I remember as a little kid when they played, there was a radio broadcast as well that went with the performance. And the spoken word is, you could hear, I think it's Getty and Alex right before the song. So there you go. So we're going to Subdivisions, Red Sector A. These are the songs that we know. Witch Hunt, that comes from the Grace Under Pressure tour, and that was taken from a bootleg. New World Man, same bootleg, I believe, from the Grace Under Pressure tour in Toronto. Again, released unofficially, and they've made it official. There you go. Any comments?
Awesome. Now we're getting into kind of, popular Rush era, so to speak.
To make sure, Big Money. Okay, here we are.
All right. Still a variation of number 50. Yeah, so LP5 starts with the Big Money. Here we get, on this side, we just have a lot of studio tracks. So we got the Big Money, which you've heard, of course, from Power Windows, Time Stands Still, from Hold Your Fire. Then we get Distant Early Warning live. Remind me where the live version of Distant Early Warning. So I'm guessing that
United,
must be
yeah, it's actually in Birmingham, UK, April 21st, 1988.
Superconductor from Roll the Bones, I believe, is
Superconductor.
no, it was a Presto.
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 Yeah. Listen, I love Power Windows. It's to me, it's like one of the band's greatest albums.
No, that's where we would. If this show was a different theme, that's where I have a hard time with Power Windows. Power Windows, Hold Your Fire is my tough era for Rush. Of course, there's amazing moments. It's funny. Marathon isn't on here, and that's kind of one of the tracks. If I think of something that's a hallmark track of Power Windows, for me, it's Marathon, and that's what I would like to have on here.
Now, Dreamline taken off of Roll the Bones.
Roll the Bones, yeah.
Stick It Out taken off of Counterparts. Test for Echo off of Test for Echo. Those are just the studio tracks. The Rhythm Method, which is a drum solo, live at the World Music Theater in 1997, an unofficial recording at the time, but now it's official. Unless it's somewhere else on the Rush Universe catalog that I'm not aware of. But there you go. So there's the drum solo. Beautiful.
So it looks like almost every LP has a variation of the 50 on it.
This is definitely for a completist, a Rush completist. Absolutely. All right, here we go.
50.
We're on LP
6.
Oh, sorry, we're on 6. Okay, I grabbed 7 by mistake. You know me.
Oh, now I know.
You know me. Wow, look at this one.
I like that. Road Case.
I like that one
cool.
too. I like that. And look at this. Cool.
So that, I'm assuming, starts with One Little Victory, I believe.
Yeah, the remix version.
So right, and the remix version, that's important to note because, for years after Vapor Trail was released, the band were never really happy with the mix, and people often complained about the mix. And then we got the remixed version of it, which I actually do think sounds better, a bit more visceral,
Yeah.
So they did put the remixed version of One Little Victory on there.
Yep. One Little Victory remix, Cygnus X1, one of my favorite Rush tracks, live from Rush in Rio.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're saying there's something from every live album too, then they would have to represent Rush in Rio, so that makes sense.
Yep. The Seeker off the Feedback.
Seeker, that's right behind me. Feedback is literally right behind me.
Yeah.
Some very cool covers.
Yep. The Who track. Between the Wheels, Grace Under Pressure, live in Frankfurt from R30.
Yeah.
Main Monkey Business, of course, off of Snakes and Arrows. Working Them Angels off of Snakes and Arrows live in Holland on the Snakes and Arrows live album, which I did not like that album. I found the mix was not so great. However, it's all good. Free Will, taken off the Time Machine live album, live in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland. Yep.
Scream from Cleveland.
A lot of Cleveland content here. We got the Agora in the early days, and then we got obviously the Arena in the old days.
Yep. Let's go to the last one now. Here we go. Here's the big 7. This is what I like. I like this
Lucky
here.
7.
Look at that. That's
There's something I really love on this. So let me guess. So Red Bruschetta coming in a live version. So that would probably be coming off of probably from their last tour, I would think.
Time Machine live. Time Machine was before their last tour, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time Machine was the album was the tour where they did Moving Pictures in its entirety, among other things.
2011. I think I was at the Time Machine live tour. Headlong Flight off of Clockwork Angels. It's a studio track. Manhattan Project off of a Clockwork Angels tour.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob's Ladder from Toronto in 2015. And What You're Doing, Working Man Garden Road. Like you said, it is the last tour.
So pause there, Jimmy. For me, this is the most poignant thing on the record. So the set ends with What You're Doing, Working Man, Garden Road, and this has never been released before. So this is the final bow, the final song, group of songs that Neil Peart played with and actually the last that is the last Rush performance as it stands, and it probably always will be the last Rush performance. Because no matter what Alex and Geddy do, it'll be without Neil. So for me, the fact that the set starts, with Not Fade Away and You Can't Fight It, and then it ends with What You're Doing, Working Man, Garden Road, as the band took their final bow. You have it from the very beginning of the 50 years to the very end of the 50 years. I think it's extremely poignant that it ends. I have to say, I had this on in the car, streaming, and really hearing, and it dawned on me immediately that that was the last song they had ever played together.
Yeah.
And it made me take a step back and almost go, you know, and just, you know, we didn't know it at the time. We suspected it at the time. But now in retrospect, that's the last time the three of them ever played together. And it affected me hearing that.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those purist, Perrin, that if those three members are not in Rush, then they cannot continue without Neil. They have to continue with Neil. Getting another drummer in, just call it something else. Don't.
Yeah, well, but they would definitely look. Some things are sacred. Rush is one of those things that is sacred.
Yeah,
and you've heard it multiple times in interviews with Alex and Geddy before Neil passed, that it takes the three of them to be Rush. If one of them is not there, it's not Rush. I would be in full support of a project named Lee Lifeson with another drummer.
Me too.
With a series of drummers. I would even be fine if they paid tribute to Neil and played Rush songs live. But the name of the band for me needs to be Lee Lifeson.
I like Rash, but it's okay.
Or
that's just me.
Their pseudonym Rash.
On that note, there you go. The Rush box set. I'll show the book one more time. You know what? If you're a Rush fanatic, definitely worth it just for this alone. And of course, that first disc. It's a greatest hits with a lot of goodies and a great packaging. So
yeah, knock that book again, Jimmy. Give it a knock.
That's quality right there.
When they say hardcover book, they're not kidding.
There you go. Again, a little quick look
if you
inside.
hit your sibling with it, you will concuss
Beautiful.
them.
A little crack when you open it. There's a lot of never before seen pictures, I should
Jimmy,
say.
how big is the font? Do I need to wear my glasses when reading the book?
I will tell you right now, as a guy with bad vision. Mm-hmm. Oh, good font quality. Yes, I can read it. I just need my glasses. I don't have to squint. Very good. Guys, definitely worth it. That's it. Rush 50. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing with us this unboxing.
I think I'm going to run out to the store and buy one, Jimmy, because they only sent us one, and it's going to stay next to the walnut, I have a feeling. Next to the walnut.
Thank you for the label for sending this, and much appreciated. Listen, you and me, and probably everybody on the Metal Voice are hardcore Rush fans.
Yeah.
So reviewing this is like a pleasure. This is like, wow, I can't wait to talk about the music I already know and all the little goodies I never knew about or always wanted them officially released. And there you have it. You know what's funny? Led Zeppelin performed with Jason Bonham's son, right? If Neil had a son that was a drummer that was just as good as he was, then I'd say do it with Neil's son, but that's not the case. Anyways.
No, has to be Lee Lifeson.
It has to be Lee Lifeson and appeared. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Hold on.